Frank, welcome to New York City. It's great to have you here with us. You just had your first training session with the team and watched them play in New York a couple times now. What are your impressions of the group so far?
Great impressions, yeah. I mean, it was, for me, to finally hit my first day's training was great. I mean, I've known a lot of the lads for quite a while now, actually, from going back to when I signed to seeing them in Manchester on their pre-season, so I feel like I've got some good friendships there already. But training's great, to get back on the pitch and play with them. Having watched some of the games, I watched the Red Bull game, obviously, the weekend. I've watched a couple of games. I've been watching a lot of games back at home on the TV, so I'm very aware of the team, the players, you know, and how we're doing. So it's nice. I've been watching from afar a lot, so it was great today to get there and play with the boys.
Yeah, you mentioned being there for the derby against the Red Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
How much does that make you look forward to playing in Yankee Stadium with crowds like that?
Mm-hmm. Very much. I mean, I can feel the excitement around the club. I think in the city, you know, even from walking around the city in the first few days I've been here and previously, everyone's talking and buzzing, and I think it was a culmination of that to go in the stadium at the weekend, to see the pre-game atmosphere, to see the atmosphere during the game, and actually, which is a big thing, to see even when the game went against us, the fans are still very much behind us. So for me, that's all very exciting. I can't wait to get out there and play in front of the fans.
How much are you looking forward to playing with David Villa?
Very much. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to know David pretty well. I think we played against each other quite a few times in our career. I had a huge amount of respect for him from afar. You know, he's done everything he can in world football. You know, won every major competition, broke personal records, scored goals wherever he's gone. I think it's a huge signal that we have players like him at the club as a symbol of the club. And he's a good man, very humble, very hard working. So for me, he ticks all the boxes. I really look forward to playing and linking up with him on the pitch.
How much did you speak with Claudio, Reyna and Jason Kreis during your time in Manchester, and how will those conversations help you hit the ground running now?
I spoke a lot, and I've been fortunate enough to speak with them from basically the day I signed right up until today. I think I've had a constant contact with both of them. Claudio at a different level, you know, from above, giving me, seeing how I'm doing, telling me how the club's doing, talking about behind the scenes stuff, and Jason obviously concentrating more about on the pitch stuff, and those conversations started when I signed, again in Manchester when they came for pre-season, and all the way through. I mean, as I say, I've been watching games, he's been watching me play. So what I'm trying to say is I feel very comfortable now. The relationships are there, and I think we're going to improve on that as we go.
What's your take on the team, how we're doing in our first campaign here?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious we're not doing quite as well as we would have wanted to. I think well, I'm sure that from players through to staff, we've found the difficulties of starting a new franchise. I think it's never easy putting things together. There's many teams that have had players that have worked together for a long time. What I will say is the improvement in the team recently. I think winning games with results, which is a huge importance. Even when I've seen us lose some games, I think there's been fine lines that have decided losing the game. It's not like we're playing terrible at all. And I can see the progress. So I'm very confident. I have no fears for the future. I think we're in a good position now to be positive, to look forward, try and win some games and try and move up the league and be where we want to be.
You have over 100 caps for England, Champions League title, league titles, domestic trophies. Obviously a career a lot of people want. Mm-hmm. What are your goals here in Major League Soccer?
To win. Very simple. I've been fortunate. I was at great clubs. Particularly Chelsea in the era where I was fortunate enough to win a lot, and last year at Man City. So I've been surrounded by top players, top people in football who always want to win, and I'm no different. And for me, this is as much of a challenge as Chelsea was, as Man City was. You know, I play football to win. I train hard to give my best to the team to help that happen. And for me to come across to a new country, I've got, you know, to try and take on a life change, to move to a new city. But at the basics of all, what makes me happy is when I win football games, and that's what I'm going to try and do. Obviously,
I'm sure you have a lot of games circled on your calendar here to get up and going, but facing Steven Gerrard in the LA Galaxy at the end of August, are you looking forward to that?
Yes, I am. I'm you know, I can't wait. I've played against Steven so many times in my career. At one stage, we seemed to play each other like almost 10 times a season because of cups and Champions League and all that stuff. But I have a huge amount of respect for him. I'm delighted that he's joined the league. I think it's great for the MLS as a whole. And that as soon as the fixture list came out, that day was sort of, you know, penciled in, and I'm really ready for that game. I think it's two big clubs playing against each other, and the opportunity for me to play against Steven again is a great one, and you know, I'm going to be really ready for that game.
You've been one of the senior players in the locker room with England, Chelsea, Manchester City. How do you think that experience can help benefit some of the younger guys on the roster here with New York City FC now?
Well, I'll do my best to make it benefit. I think as an experienced player, you have a responsibility not just to play your own game, but to help people around you. It doesn't start on the pitch; it just starts in the dressing room. It starts on the training pitch, and I'll do that. I'll try and pass on words, try and lead by example in the way I play and the way I train. And I think from briefly knowing the lads in the team already and in the squad, they want to do well. They're very keen. They want to do the right things. They want to learn. They want to improve, which every player needs. So if I can help in any way like that, I will.
You were linked to a number of different moves. What clinched New York City FC for you, and why did you decide to join this club?
Well, many things. The whole project, it was so interesting, to start at the time that I signed, and the club wasn't even up and running. It was in the real baby steps, trying to get to something a bit special, which we're still working towards. But that was a great challenge. I think the people that I spoke to at City Group said all the right things. They wanted to start a club, but they didn't just want to start it. They wanted to put in the heart of New York City. They wanted it to be a club for the people, for the fans here. And for me, that was an amazing challenge. As you said before, I feel like I've achieved a lot in the Premier League, which is one of the best leagues in the world. But for me, this is a whole new challenge to start a club from afresh and try and be successful at a great city. So it ticked so many boxes for me that it was a pretty easy decision.
What can New York City and New York City FC expect from Frank Lampard?
Well, I'll give everything. I think that's the first thing any player has to do. I think one thing I sensed from the fans in the stadium the other day was that they'll always react and respect a team that's given everything, whether you're winning or losing, and that goes for every player and the team as a whole. So I'll definitely start by trying to do that, and then if I, on top of that, can add quality, try and help the team with my work rate, and try and get in and score goals and create goals. I think that's what I hope has sort of been the mainstay of my career, is scoring goals from midfield and attacking midfield positions and creating for others. So that's my main aim, to try and do that and then help the team win.